Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bahashim Kwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push in the word of truth and its sincerity. I'm the brother Yahshua, back with the WW3 Daily Update, the last one for this week. We'll see you again on Monday. Welcome and salutations to you all. All right, so yesterday's video got cut off, had some technical difficulties, and what I would have said is what I'll say now. Okay, going in on this situation here that has everything to do with World War III. Okay, so go back and watch yesterday's video. Actually got 3 likes. I'm way up there now. But apparently I must have explained it so that you could understand. So anyway, the Bible speaks of a war in heaven. And what people use that to say, they say, well, Satan and 1/3 of the angels went mano a mano with the Most High God, and then they got kicked out of heaven. No. First of all, the spiritual demon Satan is in lockstep with the Most High, meaning God is the commander-in-chief of everything, and he tells Satan what to do, like he did in the book of Job. He told Satan, look, I want you to go jack Job's ass up and see if he remains true. Okay? And Satan didn't have power to do anything until the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, granted him the power to do something to Job. That's called order. So there's never been a time where any of the angels, including Satan, which is one of the Most High's angels, on the left-hand side who does the dirty work, there's never been a time when any angel came up against the Most High. So that's a lie and a wives' tale. What this is talking about, and there was war in heaven. This is Revelation 12:7. The war in heaven. Okay, first of all, this word heaven means the sky. All right? There's heaven on earth. There's heaven in the sky. There's heaven in the spiritual realm. Okay? There are more than one level of heaven. This one is talking about the sky. Okay? Not Satan fighting against God and getting kicked out of heaven. That's bullshit and a lie. All right? This is an earthly situation. Okay? It reads like this. And there was a war in the sky. The UFOs fought against the jet airplanes. This. Okay? And the jet airplanes got their ass kicked and got shot out of the sky. Okay? And the great dragon, who is also the serpent and the devil and Satan, right? Not the spiritual demon Satan, but his physical counterpart here on the earth, right? The so-called white man, this guy, the blue angels, right? And all of their space junk, the International Space Station, right? The satellites, all the space-based weapons, all of that shit that's up in low Earth orbit, right? Got blasted out of the atmosphere. Okay? What is this? Which deceiveth the whole world. Okay? This says the great dragon, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. So all of these names are talking about One group of people. Okay? Serpent, great dragon, the great red dragon, old serpent, the devil, and Satan, who deceived the whole world. Who deceived the whole world? I got a picture of him and his ilk. Let's bring it up. Let's bring up the picture and what tells the story. Okay? Whoever's in this picture is the devil and Satan. Not just him, but his people. Him and his people. That's who Satan is. Okay? This guy. All right? He deceived the whole world, did he not? Let's find out. Where's his mugshot? Oh, there's his mugshot. Oh my goodness. He deceived the whole world. Oh, Cesare. Caesar. Well, that's Jesus. No, you're deceived. Well, that's Jesus. No, that's Cesare. Does it say Jesus right here? Does that say Jesus? No, it says what it says. And here's the deception. So whoever this guy is, right? This is Satan. This is the devil. The devil means deceiver. Satan means adversary. Now, if this ain't Jesus, what does Jesus look like? The opposite of this. He's the opposite of this. Okay? So these people, who's in this plane? Is there a Negro in this plane? Maybe one. All right? Tom Cruise is in this damn thing. Okay? All right? And it's just the truth. All right? The truth hurts. Whoever's in this picture is the devil and Satan, the great red dragon. This guy is red. This is white. You see this? That's white. This is red. Okay? Crimson. Crime. Criminal. Get it? How dare you pose as the Son of God, Yahweh Shai? How dare you do it? This picture was painted 1,400 years after the Son of the Most High left the earth. And this is what we're left with? Busted, guilty. Go to Japan right now. Who's there? Jesus. Okay? Back to the truth. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Who deceiveth the whole world? This guy. And you're mad right now. Some of you are so mad that this is just the plain truth. This is not Jesus. Why did they put, it doesn't matter. What? Then why did they put this up? Why do you believe that this is, you're so mad right now? See, because the truth hurts. When the Bible says this, the great dragon is talking about the nation of Edom, the Edomites. Caesar Borgia, this guy, is an Edomite. All right, it's talking about him. Okay, the wicked. All right. And the great dragon was cast out. That old serpent, you old lion devil, you, the devil, deceiver. That's deception in that picture. And Satan, the adversary of God. The adversary of Yahweh Shai. Don't you know the one that you ignorantly call Jesus is mad as hell right now? Because of this bullshit right here. And I let that shit go on for years. A motherfucker will fight you about this picture. He'll go murder you. They're talking about Jesus. No, nigga, we talking about Caesar, the devil. Okay? And you will come and murder a bunch of people for telling the truth. You see how this works? It's just the truth. So right here, okay, and the great dragon was cast out. That old serpent, the devil and Satan, is talking about these people, the Edomites. Okay, and it just is what it is. Okay, who's running the world right now? Okay, who's running the world right now? That picture. We're going to pull this up. This picture right here. We're going to pull it out of the scriptures right now. Okay. The main judge. Who's the main judge? All right. Let's get this. The book of Job 9. That's good. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of who? The wicked. Who's the wicked? The wicked. Well, the wicked, who is he? The wicked. Whoever's ruling the earth right now. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Who's the judge? Well, Yahushua. Jesus is the judge. That ain't him. This is the cover. You covered up the truth with this lie. He covereth the faces of the judges. Who's the main judge? Jesus is the second judge. All right? This guy is not Jesus. Who's the judge? Well, let's find out. Okay? Let's go back. The rider on the white horse. Revelation 19 and 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him, was called Faithful and True. This is talking about the one you ignorantly call Jesus. And in righteousness he doth judge. And make war. He's coming back to make war. Why? Because he's mad as hell that somebody covered the faces of the judges. Okay? He's the judge. Is he not? He's coming back to judge your ass. And because you're mad that this truth is coming out, guess what? Guess what? Guess who knows it? You understand? Yeah, you're mad as hell. When you put that thumbs down, you think that he don't know? Now let's go over this again. The earth is given into the hand of who? Who's the wicked? The nation of Edom, the so-called white man. He covered the faces of the judges. Who's this? Who covered the face of the judges? Look at this. Who's this? Who's that? Who's in that picture? Who's that? Who else lied and said that they're Jesus? Who else lied and said that they're God? And Adam. So if he don't look like that and he's the opposite of that, according to the scriptures, what does he look like? What the fuck is this? What's this shit right here? Is this God? This is Adam, right? He covereth the faces of, who's the main judge? If Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, all right? If he, a so-called black man, what does his dad look like? So What this is saying is Caesar Borgia, right, who you ignorantly called Jesus, if he's white, so is his dad. Well, he's not. Okay? That's Caesar. Who painted this? Michelangelo? Who painted this? Same person? He covered the faces of the judges. Do you think God is not mad about this bullshit? The Most High Yahweh is mad as hell about this. And when you put your thumbs down on this, and you think the Most High don't know and not watching you and recording that, and it's time for judgment, you're stupid. All right? He covereth who did this? He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. The earth is given unto who? Who did this? Who painted this? Well, it had to be somebody that looks like this. The fuck is this shit? Okay? Do we have to go in and get what God looked like? Let's do it. Daniel 7 and 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days, who's the Ancient of Days? That's God, did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was an afro. See that wool? Well, what does the sun look like? What is the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus? Doesn't he look like his dad? Doesn't he look like his daddy? Revelation 1 and 13. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot and girded about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs, the hair on his head and on his face, were white like wool. Oh, there's that word again, wool. He had an afro, fully gray. Fully gray. And his feet, because he had a garment down to the foot, you could see his feet. His feet like unto fine brass, about this color, as if they burned in a very dark, maybe this color, very dark brown, with an afro. That's not it. That was his angelic appearance. Sounds stupid. Color doesn't matter. Color doesn't matter. He doesn't have a color. Yeah, he doesn't have a color as long as he's white. Then it's all good. Daniel 10 and 6, his body also was like the beryl. He had on a green garment. And his face has the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire. And his arms and his feet like in color. That doesn't matter. Color doesn't matter. Long as he's not black. No, he's not black. Brass. Polished, refined brass. Pure brass. Which is brown. Dark brown when it's pure. Like in color, that doesn't matter. His arms and his feet, well, his feet were dirty. He sounds stupid. Today you would call him a Negro or an African American, and he ain't no damn African. He's an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Okay? You'd call him a black man when he's clearly brown Nobody's black. All right? It's just the truth. Okay? Why? Go look at the Sphinx and tell me why he don't have no nose or lips. And who did that? Oh, it was the weather after several years. You sound ridiculous. No, it's a concerted effort to hide the truth. Okay? Look at this bullshit. All right? What is it? Sarsen stone. What is it? Sarsen stone. That was in Revelation. What is that? Trying to think. Let's see. It's garnet. Is it garnet? It's not garnet. Garnet is red. Got gold. God. Slovakia. Bear with me on this. It's not beryl. I'm trying to think of the color of a stone or the name of a stone. It's a jasper. There it is. I'll just put jasper here. It was eluding me. Right here. And he. Uh-oh, hold on. What is it, 4 and 3? Okay, we'll start right here. And after this I looked, and behold, this is Revelation 4 and 1. After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. This is in the spiritual realm where God dwells. And the first voice which I heard was as it were a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven. Who are we dealing with here? Who are we dealing with? Yahweh, the Most High God. And one sat on the throne. Who sat on the throne? We know who sits to his right. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine. I said sarsen, sorry. Sardine stone. This is what he looked like, meaning this is his color. It doesn't mean this is his color. Yes, it does. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper. We're going into the color of God. We already showed you the color of his son. Now let's see if it matches up. Okay? Let's see. Let's find out. Jasper and sardine. Stone. Let's see. Let's just, images. Uh-oh, what color is that? What color is this? What color is this? I'll tell you what it's not. This is clearly brown. Jasper and sardine stones. Brown and woolly hair. What did it say his son looked like? Burnished brass. Brass is gold. Brass is gold. Burnished brass is brown. Dumbass. Just face it. Your lies have come to an end. Brass as if they burned in a furnace. And his feet like unto fine brass as if they burned in a furnace. You see that? Look at some of these colors. Come on. Look at this. Burnished brass. Look at this. This is all burnished brass. At the very least, it's brown, dark brown. Burnished brass. So stop with the bullshit. Okay? Look at this. Burnished brass. Burnished bronze. You can stop with the fucking bullshit now. Just the truth. Okay? Yeah, he looks like his son. They both have woolly hair, white woolly hair, and dark brown skin. Okay? God, not no Sistine Chapel. Not this bullshit. They covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Who? Whoever's ruling the earth right now. Who has the power to rule the earth right now? As the Rothschild family. Okay? The Edomites. Who's the wicked? Where'd that go? Went all the way away, didn't it? Who's the wicked? Malachi 1. Start at 1. The burden, Malachi 1 and 1, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel. To who? To Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Oh, the Lord said what? I have loved you. Who is you? To Malachi, or Salakia, to Israel. Malachi is an Israelite. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Who is he talking to? To Israel. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau, Jacob's brother, saith the Lord. Yet I love Jacob. This is what God is saying. I love the Israelites. And I hated who? Esau, the Edomites. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom, well, who's Edom? Esau's name was changed to Edom, meaning red, the red man. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Right now we're talking about the wicked. Whereas Edom saith, we talk about who? We talk about Edom, red, the red man, crimson, the criminal. Whereas Edom saith, we, not Esau, I, Edom, Esau and his whole family, the Edomites, saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build it. They're saying that to God, bold and proud. We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And you did. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They, who's they? The Edomites, shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them, everybody is going to call you, the border of wickedness, the wicked. All right? The Edomites are the wicked. Okay? So when we go here, back to Job 9 and 24. The Edomites are the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, the Edomites. And they're ruling right now. Ask Jacob Rothschild. Ask the DuPonts. Ask the Rockefellers. Okay? Who rules the earth right now? He, who's he? The wicked, the Edomites, covereth the faces of the judges. Go back to the Sistine Chapel, who painted themselves up to look like God. Who did that? Whoever's in the picture did. A black man painted this? Well, black man, I'm going to paint God. No, a black man can paint God like himself and be correct about it. Okay? But this right here is a lie according to the scriptures. This is the devil. What does devil mean? Deceiver. This is the devil. Caesar Borgia is the devil. That's not God. That's not the description. I don't see no jasper. Where's the jasper? Okay? No. No. Caesar. That is not Jesus. That's Caesar Borgia. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. All right, so I said all of that to say this. Who is in these planes? Tom Cruise. Okay? Let's get back to it. Let's get back to the war. All right? Let's get back to World War III. So God, the angry black man, and his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, the angry black man, right, is coming to do what? First, God is going to gather all the nations of the world into World War III. Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. NLT. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Why? Why? Okay. World War III, that's why. Let's get that real quick. Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. This is why. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Gather yourselves together round about. For what? World War III. And then guess who's going to jump in? That's what I was saying yesterday. Thither calls thy mighty ones. Uh-oh. Then the hosts of heaven are going to get into the war. All right? What's this? The armies of the world That's not the only one, is it? Bear with me, I'm looking for something. That's not important. Isaiah. Isaiah. Is it 13? This is Isaiah 13 and 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. Okay, what is God doing? He's gathering all the armies of the world. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. What does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? That means that God is creating World War III. Hear the noise. This is Isaiah 13 and 4. Hear the noise on the mountains. Listen as the vast armies march. It is the noise and shouting of many nations. This is World War III. The Lord of heaven's armies has called this army together. This is God and his army, right? He has called this army. What army? All the armies of the world. Okay? That word host means armies. Army. The Lord all-powerful is bringing together an army for battle. He has his army, the angels. He's bringing together somebody who he could beat into powder. All right, let's get it right here. So God is bringing together all the armies. Why? To get that ambush. Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth, right? The Rothschilds and the DuPonts and their armies, Vladimir Putin, Macron, okay, Boris Johnson, Boris Johnson quit, gathered together to do what? To make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Who sat on the horse? And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. All right? Where is it? And he was clothed in a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God. Now, you Christians, you know who that is, don't you? Who is the Word of God? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay? And the armies which were in heaven, in the spiritual realm, followed him upon white horses. Okay? The angels, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. The angels. Okay? Now, jump back down here. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies, World War III, jumping off, gathered together. They stopped fighting each other to do what? Gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. World War III. All right? It is what it is. Now, these things were in the beginning. In the beginning, let's get that real quick. This is not nothing new. Genesis 1. Let's go to the beginning. In the beginning, Yahweh Shai and the angels, this word right here is plural. It's not talking about the Most High, looking like Jasper. Created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of the powers moved. What does that mean? What does moved mean? You get that? Or do we have? I'll probably have to go to. Let's get it real quick. Moved. Let's get that. Moved. That. Moved, right? In the beginning, God created heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was up upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. Moved. Strong's Concordance. Rahaf. 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 What does it mean? Relax, soft, to grow soft. Let's get down here. Let's get into the deep of it. Hovering over. Hovering over face of waters. What hovers over? Hovering. Moved. The Spirit of God hovered over. So these things were there in the beginning, before the earth was made. They were already there. Okay? They were already there. All right, I just had to go. And I know I'm going long on this, but it is what it is. All right, so this is the infographics show. July 3rd, 2019. World War II pilots report seeing hovering. This is nothing new. Okay? What is St. Elmo's fire? When Christopher Columbus was coming over here, sailing over here to kill a whole bunch of people and steal land. What were they following? Something called St. Elmo's fire. Okay, look that up. Some of World War II pilots claim to have seen impossibly bright lights flying next to them.
It's the middle of the night and you're a pilot flying over Germany during World War II, when suddenly in front of you are what appear to be great big fireballs. One pilot described them as will-o'-the-wisps, while other pilots said they were almost alien looking. Anyone who saw them said the same thing though, that it was extremely hard to get away from them. They didn't attack, just followed and darted around. One American pilot said, "I thought it was some new form of jet propulsion plane after us, but we were very close to them and none of us saw any structure on the fireballs." Rumors abounded. Did the Germans have a secret weapon, or were they aliens? What was going on in the skies, and what were the pilots seeing? If you check out the top secret messages sent to and from the Allied expeditionary forces in France that are now available to the public, there's a lot of talk of strange goings-on in the sky. On the 9th of January 1945, a message came through saying that strange objects were following American planes. Was this a new Japanese aircraft? The Allies wondered. That same year, Time magazine came out with an article that questioned what the strange objects in the sky were that sometimes appeared like balls of fire. The British press asked, what were these Foo Fighters the Yanks were talking about, with the word foo being British slang meaning a kind of nonsense word. Because that's what the lights seemed to be, a kind of nonsense that didn't behave like anything else on Earth. But they also struck fear into the hearts of pilots. More reports from pilots came in about the mysterious objects that strangely never attacked. Charles R. Bastian, pilot of the 8th Air Force, said that he saw Foo Fighters over Belgium and the Netherlands. He described them as two fog lights flying at high rates of speed that could change direction rapidly. He probably thought he'd lost his mind and was likely relieved to be told that two British RAF pilots had seen the same thing around the same time. Sightings also occurred over the South Pacific, and the pilots knew they weren't crazy because the Foo Fighters were seen by other crew on board. Time magazine further reported that scientists were skeptical about this being anything extraordinary. What the pilots were seeing were optical illusions, they said. After all, no technology existed that could control something so ethereal or that looked like flying fire moving so easily through the air at such great velocity. And if the enemy had something up their sleeve, why did these things never attack? Was the Foo Fighters technology developed by the enemy to give pilots a fright? Or was this not human technology at all? There were rumors that it may have been possible for the Axis powers to create some kind of electrical storm that could disorient pilots and even interfere with radar, but there's no evidence such a weapon ever existed. Most scientists said what was likely being witnessed was something akin to St. Elmo's fire, which is a natural weather phenomenon, a kind of natural airborne electrical charge, and this could certainly appear in the sky looking bright and luminous. St. Elmo's fire is not at all uncommon, and for years sailors in storms described seeing similar balls of light. That may fit with the lights the pilots saw, but how does that explain how these balls of fire managed to follow the planes? Newsweek described another encounter a U.S. pilot had with a Foo Fighter in 1945. He was braced to meet Nazi planes on anti-aircraft. Suddenly, an eerie light split the darkness around his plane. Looking up from his instrument panel, the horrified lieutenant saw two red balls of fire cruising alongside his wingtips. It wasn't always the same, though. In another classified document, it's written that a British pilot, while flying from England over to Germany, shouted through his intercom, "They're firing rocket projectiles at us!" He said they looked like comets and then just disappeared. Other messages also tell us about how these lights moved at high speed, followed planes, and were causing pilots to become very concerned. They were convinced that despite what they were being told, this was something more than a weather phenomenon. A 1945 edition of Stars and Stripes magazine pointed out that many of these men seeing Foo Fighters were veterans, and this kind of thing had never happened before. The story goes on to state that the pilots were growing angry that scientists and top brass were insisting that they were only seeing things or that it was just the weather. Another pilot wrote, "We turned, we rolled, we dived, we climbed, but the red ball stayed with us." To him and others, this was not so easily explained away as a weather effect. In another top secret document from the time, Group Captain E.D.M. Hopkins wrote, "The whole affair is still something of a mystery, and the evidence is very sketchy and varied, so that no definite and satisfactory explanation can yet be given." So, what was really going on? Many have said that the pilots were not hallucinating, that it had to be more than some kind of battle fatigue that made the pilots see things. There were just too many reports, and the pilots interviewed were veterans who were in good shape mentally. It was also said that the Foo Fighters could not be a creation of the enemy. Otherwise, some damage would have been caused, and some evidence of a German or Japanese plan would have been uncovered in the last 70 years. The St. Elmo's fire theory remained the best one, but that still left many questions, such as how were they capable of such extreme maneuverability? Everyone was stumped. In the 1950s, the CIA was particularly interested in this mystery. A special inquiry called the Robertson Panel that included some of the US's top scientists was tasked with looking into the possibility of UFOs in general, as well as the Foo Fighters pilots had reported encountering. The British at the time were also looking into the same phenomenon, and both countries agreed that there were concerns about the possibility of enemies creating amazing superweapons, but in the end, they also concluded that those Foo Fighters were not UFOs or superweapons, but simply St. Elmo's fire. Other theories have been floated as well, such as that the pilots were experiencing autokinesis, an effect which occurs if you look at something long enough that it appears to move. Another possible explanation is that the pilots, while well trained and experienced, were more stressed than they realized, and all around them were bright lights, flak, lights on the ground, explosions, and this combined with the psychological pressure made them believe that a bright light looked like it was moving around. It wasn't an explanation pilots would have liked to have heard, because that theory meant that they were suffering from temporary psychosis, but given the stress of the job, it might explain why so many men saw things in the sky. There's also the possibility of the Foo Fighters being the notorious German V-2 rocket, which emitted a glow and a tail of fire as it flew through the sky. But one military expert wrote in a book that the V-2 just didn't have the kind of maneuverability described by pilots. Another theory that has been thrown out is that the Germans had a wonder weapon that fired electrostatic discharges, but there's been no proof that any weapon existed like that at the time. And in fact, there's no evidence that one exists even today. So with that, we're going to call the Foo Fighters a still unsolved mystery. Can you solve this mystery?
Yep.
What do you think the Foo Fighters were? Tell us in the comments. And also, be sure to check out our other video, Wartime Paranormal Science.
Yeah, I can solve it. Okay. Can definitely solve it. Let's see. I want Exodus. Let's see. All right. Bear with me. Let's see. Exodus. Now, when I like to pull this out. Let me see. Let me get this. Let me go into this real quick. Come on here. Chariots. This. All right. So, in the desert, when God delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt. Okay, here you got Moses. Now, who's parting the Red Sea? See, what you don't understand is this was there. Just like I showed you in Genesis, it was there. It was hovering, right? Well, it was there too. Okay? Let's get that. And the Lord, this is Exodus. We know what was going on in Exodus. It was in Egypt. We were leaving. Let my people go. Remember that? And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, went before them by day in a pillar of cloud, okay, with a cigar-shaped chariot, to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. Okay? Neither the pillar of cloud by day nor the pillar of fire by night left its place before the people. So it was guarding them. This is a war chariot, submersible. It could go into the water. It could go into the fourth dimension. It could completely disappear. It can expand in size. It can beam you up onto it. All right? And these things exist. And the powers that be know this, just as we know it. All right? It's the commoners that don't know. All right? All right, now let's watch this thing fight. Let's see. Let's start here. Exodus 14 and 19. And the angel of God, this is the angel of God. Who's in there? The one you ignorantly call Jesus is in there. He was there at Sinai. He was there in the desert. Okay? And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, went behind the Israelites, and the pillar of cloud, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. It was guarding them from Pharaoh and the Egyptians. Let's read it up here. The Egyptian. Okay. The angel of God who had gone before the camp of Israel withdrew and went behind them. The pillar of cloud also moved from before them and stood behind them, so that it came between the camps of Egypt and Israel. The cloud was there in the darkness, but it lit up the night, so all night long neither camp went near the other. A cloud can't do that. A chariot can. Okay? When Jesus comes back, how is he coming back? In the clouds, right? Revelation 1. Give it to me. Revelation 1 and 7. This is the second coming. Behold, he cometh, second coming, he cometh with clouds. The pillar of cloud went and stood before them. This thing, device. It can hide in the clouds. It can make itself look like a cloud. It can make itself look like a bird. It could split into four. Behold, he cometh with clouds. That's the angels too. And every eye shall see him. His chariot is so big that everybody's going to see it. Okay? Psalm 104. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord, my God, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot. He cometh with clouds, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, hovered, zipping back and forth, like what was being said right here. Where they at? Where the fireball is at. And St. Elmo's fire was a chariot. Don't let them fool you. All right? These things go all the way back to the beginning. There's nothing new. And they know. All right? Let's do this real quick and we'll call it to an end. Ancient paintings with, let's say UFOs. Just this, that circle, that's God and Jesus, and some idiot painted that. That's Vlad the Impaler. Tepish. What's this? What's this? What's this? UFOs in ancient art. Baptism of Christ. 1710 painting by Ert de Gelder. What's this? 1710. Is this new? Is this new? Is this World War II? Is this World War I? Is this the Battle of the Chateaubriand? What's this? This guy pointing at it. This guy right here pointing up at the UFO in the picture. Where is it? This guy. They got it. They blow it up. Let me see. What is it called? This is called. What is this painting called? Anyway, this guy right here, when they blow it up, he's pointing up at this UFO. Okay. This is the resurrection. Okay. Not the resurrection, him being hung up. The angels were out there watching this, recording it. You think they ain't got video cameras? Look at this. That's a craft. That's a chariot. These are ancient paintings. Okay? This. See the chariot beaming? Oh. 15th century painting. UFOs don't exist. And what the hell were they doing putting them in these important paintings? Look at Sputnik. Okay? And that ain't Yahushua, and that ain't the Most High. That's the devil, the deceiver. See him painting themselves, they're covering the faces of the judges. Yahushua wouldn't be effeminate and showing his bare chest. Okay? Anyway, so the chariots exist. They go way back. These are all ancient paintings. Look at this. Hieroglyphics. You know they've been hiding this shit. Well, who was in ancient Egypt? Well, we were serving slavery. The nation of Israel were. Okay? Look at that. What the hell is that? Well, that's just something that looked like what today they would call, yeah, and you're a dumbass. Dumas. That's that sphere. Oh no, that's the sun. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Right here. Okay. You see it? See this dude looking up at it? This is, they zoomed into the picture I was talking about earlier. I'll show you the where is it? This right here. See, this is him. That's him right there. This is this. What's he doing? Hey, what's that? Showing you. Okay. This is Mary. This is not Yahushai. That's not Mary. Mary was a sister. Okay. But whoever painted this knew what the hell the Bible is saying. Okay. And if they knew back then in the 1700s, you think they don't know now? No, they're lying to you. Okay. So anyway, here's the point. What the hell? Happened to my backdrop? That's not my backdrop. The point is that these things are involved in World War III. Okay? They're going to win World War III. They're the angels. Don't be stupid. Okay? You can't take down the angels. All right, so I'm just finishing up from yesterday. Where did that go? Moving too fast here. Anyway, good enough for today. So we'll see you next week, yeah? We hope that the elect are edified. Let me get one more scripture. We're going to get, what is it, 63 and 16? Let's see if I can get it right. Not like that, you don't. '63 and 16. Let's see. Nope. Psalm 63 ain't no 16. Okay, I'll have to find it this way. Even thousands 68 and 17. Salakia. Psalm 68:17. The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai. We just proved that in the holy place. As in Sinai. The chariots were there. The chariots, which are the angels, it says that. The chariots of God are angels. The Lord, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, is among them as he was during this situation. All right. So with that, we hope that the elect will edify you, brothers and few sisters. And with that, we're going to say shalom.